Should we start taking bets on how much longer I manage to handle having a messy bit of paper? Hello gang, hello friends, hello gang friends, welcome back. Thank you for joining me today. I hope this video finds you well. Are you well? I hope you're well. If you're new, hello, my name is Jo and I do nail stuff. Shut up, nail stuff, and the stuff she does with nails is stuff with nail stuff and stuff with nails. Yes, it is. It is day 17 of the Madame Glam Advent Calendar and our Advent Accent Nail Adventure. So let's have a look and see what is in long box number 17. Oh, it's the 7th. Oh, I was just going to say, it's the 17th today as well. That's not a coincidence, Joseph. It's because it's an advent calendar. My cousins do turn 18 today, though. Must message them. Box 17 is a brush. It's not a brush, it's a dotting tool. And it's a nice tiny one. It's smaller than the smallest one on that collection of dotting tools that we all have with the coloured swirl going through them. It is super duper tiny. Look how tiny! Yay! So today we're going to do stuff with dots. It seems only natural. So we're going to start with Optimistic, which is a nudie, pinky nudie. Yep. And we're going to paint two nails with 2 coats of that. This is a lovely colour. I look at nudes sometimes, nail colours, just to be clear, and I think, I'd like to just be calm and have a nude on, and then when I come to do my nails, I think, don't be ridiculous. You're having black or dark, deep burgundy. So we're going to use the Ultra Liner to pop some lines on the nail with their black gel paint. The Ultra Liner was the one we got the other day. Why didn't I use the long fine liner? Don't know. I think maybe to use the things that we got in the advent calendar. So we're going to do some lines down here. Some of them we're only going to have, like this one, I think. Oh, yeah. We're just going to stop it halfway, different heights. And I'm not putting a lot of pressure down. You can see I'm not pressing the whole length of the brush onto the nail, just using the tip to get some fine lines. And then I did this so many times because I didn't like where I'd put them, so I spent about, I don't know, I got angry, and then when I did these I was like, that's it, whatever we do now, these are them. So I'm just showing with the dotting tool, if you put, if you fill it, which basically just submerge the whole thing in the pot, obviously as you dot, more product is deposited on the nail, so the dots get smaller as you go. Or you can do light pressure and just get a whole bunch. Right, now we're just being silly, of smaller dots. And I do kind of change my technique here because I figured that I want to put something on these dots, and also don't want them to be too thick, so because they might sort of dimple in the lamp. I find dots do if they're too thick, just where they're not properly cured and they've crinkled, it gets a kind of dimple. So instead of sort of dipping the entire metal dot on the end of the tool into the polish and getting a bigger dot, because that's how you're going to get a bigger dot, I am putting less on and making the dot bigger like this, moving it around. Instead of using the product to get the big dot, I'm using my hand to make the dot. Does that make sense? Yeah. Less product, get the size of the dot you want by moving it around, as opposed to getting a big dot by having a lot of product. Because if you do have a big dollop of product on your tool and you touch the nail with it and then leave it there for, just let it rest for a second, all the product will kind of fall off it, so you will get a bigger dot, but it will be thicker. So yeah, I hope some of what I just said makes sense. And we're going to do some little dots at the bottom, which we can get smaller just because the product is depositing as we go. And then some smaller dots. Oh no, we're making them bigger. They are a bit smaller than the others, aren't they? So just lots of different, well, I want the dots the same size on each strand, but we are using different sizes, and then we're going to put little dots in between the big dots. So less pressure, you know, don't push down and hold, just a little tap, tap, and then you've got a small dot. I'm really concerned that what I was saying just now made no sense. And then we're going to full cure this. I think I do add something on the right there where we seem to have just a bald spot. Yes. I wanted to evenly space the lines, so it meant going right towards the end. But we'll add some little dots on the end of that, and then some on the line, and then give that a full cure. Oh, now we're taking Kevin from the Lost in New York collection, which has Home Alone themed names. This is a magnetic. These are cat eyes. I love this collection so much. It's so good. So this is the red that has a kind of, look at, a pinky glow with the cat eye. Oh, it's so pretty. So we're going to do some dots with that, and then each one, again, I'm not putting loads on so it's thick. I'm putting just a acceptable amount on, just a normal amount on my dotting tool, and then moving the dotting tool in little circles to get a bigger dot, but the product is spread more. It's thinner. There we go. And then I'm using a magnet to bring out the zhuzh, the cat eye, the magnetic-ness. And then I'm flash curing just with a handheld LED torch that I think I got from Amazon for about £4, just to freeze it in place, because then when we go to use a magnet on the next dot, it's not going to affect the one that we've just done. This is Wet Bandit, also from that collection. So it's a cat eye as well, and oh, they're just so good. Oh, they're so lovely. I got sent 4 of these, and then ordered the rest of the collection. Although I'm quite lucky now because they send me the whole collection when they bring out a new one. But at that point, I was sort of new to them sending me stuff, so it was just, I got to pick some, and then I got these and thought I need all of them. So again, using the magnet to just bring out the zhuzh. You could dot everywhere and then use the magnet if you want, but you're not going to get every single dot at its full zhuzh potential if you do them all at the same time, because you can't get the magnet in the right place for all of them. This one is my favourite. It's called Keep the Change, you filthy animal. No, it's just called Keep the Change. And it's amazing. I love it so much. It's so good. We used it on that 3D cat eye snake set. Ah, so good. So we'll zhuzh these. I'm not showing me flashing each one because that was just far too much to edit, I'm afraid. So we're just showing the fancy bits where you bring out the glow. Yes. And then we will full cure. So it's not too bumpy. There are obviously some raised bits where we've got dot on dot. But if we do a thick coat of their no wipe top coat, which is nice and thick anyway. Well, it's not too thick. It's the perfect consistency, this top coat. I know I rave about it all the time, but I love it so much. So it will cover, if we do a thick coat, it's going to cover enough to smooth out where all our dots are. And then once it's all smoothed out, I'm adding an extra bit down the centre just to sort of give us as straight a light line as possible. Maybe hold it upside down if you want to sort of drag the product, let gravity do its thing and give a more of a smooth surface. And this looks so much better in person than it does on camera. It really glows at certain angles. So yeah, if you'd have magnetised them all at the same time, then they wouldn't all be at their full zhuzh at the same time. So now we are going to 2. We're going to 2. We're going to 2 2s. And then I'm thickening them up a bit. So I've done a diagonal line and then a horizontal line and then just a little curve at the top. And then I'm going to thicken them just a bit, not loads. Did these 100 times. I just wasn't getting them in the right place where I wanted them, or I'd thicken one up and then it was too thick, and then if I did the other. So persevere. If you want to do something and it's not going right, keep doing it, because once you do get it how you want it, you'll feel all happy with yourself. So we'll get another shot. I'm doing these at just sort of different heights because they're going to be dangling charm type things off some dangly bits. How's today's voiceover, guys? Is that all right? We're doing okay? And then a 3. So we're doing a straight line, diagonal line, and then curve. I wanted to do a double curved 3, curved at the top and bottom. But I think I was running out of room on the side, so I could bring the bottom curve in a bit. I would have had to sort of have the humps protruding a bit more if I did both of them and there wasn't enough room. So I cured those, because if I mess up these lines, I didn't want to have to wipe the numbers off again and do them again. So we're doing strands. We've moved on to calling them strands now. Dangly bits, strings, lines, going to each of the numbers, and then we'll dot those. Again, not making the dots too thick, using the tool to spread the product into a bigger circle, and then cure, and then we'll magneticize these as well with the coloured cat eye polishes. So we've got Kevin and Wet Bandit and Keep the Change. Is there 3 more in that collection? There's Frizzante, Buzz, Lost in New York. No, I think there's 4 more. What's the purple one called? Is that Lost in New York? There's a purple, like a gorgeous, rich purple. There's a pink. There's a green. And there's a darker blue. I can't remember what they're called though. And then we're topping, and then we're having an afterthought, because we're topping this and then thinking, what should we do in that gap? Do we need to do something? It's festive-y, sparkly season. So, oh, look at the dots, all glowy. I just love cat eye polishes. They're so good. So, umming and ahhing, I think let's put some crystals here. I'm taking the Macart Gem Gel glue from its broken tube, and I'm just going to place some of that along the bottom. Had this not been an afterthought, I would do this before top coating, because you want to seal in around the crystals, and you can use the top coat to do that. And also it means that the gem gel is sticking to a better surface than a shiny top coat. So if you want these, do it before topping and then get that shit in the lamp. Jingle bell, jingle bell. You don't belong in there. This happened. I spilt some crystals whilst I was putting them on a client the other day. All over the floor, everywhere. Bless her. We were both down on our hands and knees picking up crystals on the floor afterwards. So this is the final accent nails. The crystals matched perfectly with those colours, which was a happy little coincidence. Let me know what you think of these in the comments. If you do like this video, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. I appreciate you guys being here so much, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.